Oh, hello. My name is Jovanna Vidal. I am so excited to be doing this again. This is going to be my next interview on my new Let's Chat interview series here on YouTube. And I wanted to bring on Jennifer New, a mom of two who has read my book with her daughter. And I wanted to bring her on because I wanted to share her experience in reading my book with her daughter. So this is my book, Teen Anxiety No More. And although her daughter is not quite yet a teen, I wanted to share her story because it's interesting how she, as a mom, chose to share this book with her not yet teen child. So I'm really curious about that, and I can't wait to bring you behind the scenes, see how it's going for them. I'm excited. So thank you for joining me. Let's get right to it. Hello, my ladies. I am Jovanna Vidal. You may know me from the Dhar Mann series. Is that where you might know me from, Emma? I am here today, so excited. We've been trying to do this for a good amount of time. I'm here with Jennifer New and her gorgeous little daughter who made me a drawing, Emma. And I'm so excited. Today we're going to chat a little bit, all things happening right now. Anxiety, fear, mental awareness. Maybe we'll sneak in a little Dhar Mann. We'll see where the conversation goes. But I'm so excited you ladies agreed to do this with me. How you doing today?
We're doing good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember the first time you came on to my live, Jennifer. I remember the first time.
I remember you actually shouted me out, and I was like, "You said my name!" And I told my husband about it, and I told my daughter about it, and they were all like, "Nah, that can't be right." I'm like, "No, for real, what?" And then I played it over again. I did like twice, right? Yeah, I played it over twice.
Because I was like, "Hi, Jennifer." You're making such great contributions, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later. But you also run a page sharing about mental and awareness around the sensitivities of how we're all doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, I do.
That was what prompted me. I was like, oh my gosh, this youngling, you're a youngling. I thought you were a youngling. And then you tell me you have a little Emma, and I'm like, what? You have a child? You have two children? I didn't believe it because I thought you were like a youngling. Tell me a little bit about your page.
Well, my page is consistently was strictly on mental health awareness, but now I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
So now I'm bringing that to light because there's no cure for it, and some days are really harder than not, but I still slay those mental dragons daily, and I still continue to spread love, positivity, and kindness throughout the world.
and I love that because I was watching some of your videos, and that's exactly what you do. I love how vulnerable and how real you are because you share when you're not or when you're struggling. And so many people, I think, not only feel that way, but can relate to when you are feeling that way. So you're doing a service to the world. And so that is just incredibly vulnerable of you.
I think it's very important to give my viewers the ins and outs of mental health as a whole, because I struggle with not only depression and anxiety. I also have borderline personality disorder. I also have dissociative identity disorder, which is where I live with 6 different personalities consecutively.
So what would you tell someone who perhaps might be experiencing a similar diagnosis? Is that the correct word?
Yeah, that's the correct word. Well, it depends on what we're talking about, because like I said, I have multiple different diagnoses, including, MS now. So if you're talking about mental health, I talk about what I do when I have panic attacks. I talk about what I do in order to get through a day of struggle. And I just tell them it's so important to remain positive. Negativity can corrupt you in a second. And you just have to just kind of say to yourself, you know what, I can't change what I'm going through, but I can make it a positive experience. And that's what I tell my viewers that watch me. The only thing you could do is be afraid to do something that's going to change your life. Everybody has fear. It's how we deal with the fear.
I love what you just said. That was really powerful because it's how you want to show up in the world, right? We talk about
Exactly.
this a lot, and it's you're not going to show up truthfully again to himself and to
Yeah,
others. You're really shortchanging your experience in this lifetime, and
I
we know
am.
how short life is, right? And what if
Exactly. Life is so unpredictable. You don't know what's going to come your way. And what I tell everybody is that no matter what, you need to know is that God has a plan for your life. So if it's in God's plan and it's His, it shall be done. Because if it's not, then no, He doesn't want this for you. You need to find out what it is that the Holy Father wants for you, and then go from there.
you're touching on us on a chapter in my book, because that's another thing I want to talk to you about.
Yes.
We loved your book.
Oh, oh my gosh, I did not plan that, but that was like amazing. Thank you, Emma. I'm so curious, what prompted you, Mama Jennifer, to get my book? And I believe you guys read it together. Like, what?
Yes, we did. It took us 3 days to finish it.
3 days.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
2 days before my 36th birthday, I finished your book.
Oh, and what? And let me just show it here for anybody who's curious. It's called Teen Anxiety No More.
Exactly.
And I wrote this as a love letter to teens
Mhm.
because we know, Jennifer, you and I know that there's a better way to approach our teen years, right? So
Yes,
we're
of course.
moving forward. So what was that experience like to read this book together, you and Emma?
Well, first off, my daughter struggled last year in kindergarten with bullying. They bullied her, and that just opened up a whole new can of worms for me because I was severely bullied as a kid. So it was like when you were talking in your book, now you wrote this book probably a while ago before you even knew anything about me. But I swear, the way I would open that book and read, I was like, wow, we have so many similarities, even though you're older than me. And it was just like, okay, I'm going to continue reading this because she's really speaking to me. And then you brought up Tony Robbins, and then you brought up all these wonderful people, and I was just like, okay, she's really speaking to me right now. And I was just over the moon excited. I was like, I wanted to finish it, but like I probably could have finished it in 2 days. But because I was reading it with my daughter and I wanted her to realize that, everybody goes through something. It's how you're going to make it in life. You could take your story and do something with it, or you could do nothing with it. But me as a person, which is where I get my dramatic side, is that, I've always been into theater. I've always been into acting. I've always been singing. I've been dancing. I've been writing since I was 12. So all of these things that I talk about is generally about what's going on with me, not just like a story for people to read. I'm still working on my book. I haven't finished it. It's not done yet. But it's not meant to come out yet. But I seriously hope that in the future I could become a great writer just as well as you and Catherine Norland.
Thank you for that. Thank you for, introducing this book, because Emma is not a teen yet.
No, she said that.
Exactly. So there was some subject matter in there that I was not prepared to have perhaps a
Want cupcake?
be part of. So how did you make that decision as a mom? Cupcake time! Is it Maya's birthday cupcakes?
She's so
It's her 1-year-old. She just turned 1 yesterday.
Yeah, she just turned 1 yesterday. Went by too fast.
Oh my gosh.
Well, to answer your question, there were some parts in the book that were not appropriate for a 7-year-old. But as a mommy, you work with it. You skip the scary parts, but you explain it to the way that she can understand.
Okay, good. So you went ahead a little bit and you're like, okay, let's reshift this layout.
Yeah, basically what I said was, instead of you were talking about teen, suicide and stuff to that effect, I would say, okay, this chapter's a little bit more challenging. Let me try to explain it to my 7-year-old. You know, we're gonna read the chapter. I'm not gonna say we're not gonna read it, but there's certain parts that Mom's just gonna say.
Okay.
And that's what I learned when I talked about when I was 12 years old. I tried to take my own life.
Oh, wow. Okay. Never easy to receive that, right? It's a conversation you and I have had, but to hear that, you're like, wow, I am so sorry, first and foremost. And the fact that really needed to land. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But I love that you're here and that you're doing amazing things because you've learned that that's not the answer, right?
No, I absolutely no means it's the answer. Well, I first of all I talked to my daughter and I told her, listen, there's this book that Mommy wants to get, and I think it would be a good thing that Mommy read it with you. Because you went through bullying, Mommy went through bullying, and this book is about teen anxiety no more. Now, granted, my daughter is not a teen, but as a mom, I felt like if she heard me read it to her, she doesn't take it as just like something for teens. She takes it as a story that has to be told.
So what do you think her takeaway was? I know Emma was with us, but do you think she was able to like step away from that, having a better understanding as to how to deal?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I talked to my daughter about everything, even when I was reading your book, and like I said, except for the scary parts, I would, maneuver it to her understanding. But she loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it.
Wow, that is so powerful because this is the first conversation I've had with a mama and child duo who have read the book together. I've heard of, the conversations that happened, but this is the first time I've been able to like interact with someone I know who has read the book with their child.
Yeah.
And that to me opens up a whole new realm of possibilities because it's a conversation that needs to happen, right?
It does. It does, because just because she's 7 now doesn't mean in a few years she's not going to be a teenager. Yeah. And I will go back to that book and I will, help her understand that you remember the book we read when you were 7. She may say yes, she may say no. I don't know. I can remember from 3 and up. So, but I, that's just me. But I don't know about my child. Yeah. But I will use that as reference because that was something that me and her both shared together, and I'll be able to talk to her more about it, and including the scary parts, I'll be able to talk to her more about that too.
I'm getting chills by everything you're sharing. You're saying it so beautifully, and I hope a lot of moms can find themselves in this place where they can have this dialogue with their assumingly
I hope so too, because it's very important. Back when I was younger and I was bullied and stuff like that, my mom knew I was getting bullied, and she would always want me to fight, and I was never a fighter. I hated confrontation. I hated it. Now I have a voice, so now I know how to use it.
And you're a mama bear, so things change when you're a mama bear. You're like, oh no, if you're gonna mess with my children, I'm in your face, right? I gotta believe that played into it as well. I mean,
absolutely, yeah. And just going back to nobody really being there for me. I let every one of my girls know that Mama's always here. So it doesn't matter what you're going through. I'm going to be here. I'm going to protect you the best way I possibly can. But if it's happening in school, I need you to go to somebody in school. Tell Mama later, but let them know so they can address it right then and there. And that was another problem I had when I was younger, because I also started getting bullied in kindergarten, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah, I had girls that would be jealous of me because of the clothes I wore. Because way back when, Disney was a big thing. If you had a Disney backpack, you were considered, royalty at that point. But you got to remember, sometimes people don't know how to take generosity. So instead, they're going to come out and bully you because it's easier to be mean than it is to be kind.
Uh,
And it's so true. Even now, a couple days ago, I stepped outside my porch and I saw this man walking his dog, and I loved the dog. And I said, "Oh, what a beautiful dog." And he just flew off the handle at me, started cursing me out. And I was just like, it's okay. I'm going to remain calm. I'm not going to, really. She wants to give you a cookie.
aw, you know my weakness. You know my weakness, Emma.
It was just like, he's like, my husband said, "How did you stay so calm?" He was literally cursing you out. I said, because you know what? It's not me. It's him.
Yeah.
There's something going on with the individual, not the person they're attacking. And I learned that.
Just curious, how is Emma's bullying now? Like, is she still being
It's
bullied?
gone.
It's gone. Oh my gosh. How do you know how that came about? Like, what
It was the
happened?
boys. It wasn't girls. It was boys. Where I live in Patterson, the boys would pick on the girls. And it was so scary.
I'm from Jersey as well. We're both, well, I don't know if I should say that. Maybe I'll, but yeah, the boys were my bullies as well, as you read in my book. And it was really challenging because, you know, it's a different dynamic than Mean Girls, right? It's
Yes.
kind of thing. So it's gone. Like, Emma hasn't been dealing with bullying. Oh
No.
my gosh, that's amazing.
It is. It is, because she moved up to first grade now, and the bullies that were bullying her are now stuck in the same grade they were in.
Oh snap! They held them back in kindergarten.
Yeah. But I still, to this day, tell her, "You're beautiful, regardless. You know, Mama loves you unconditionally. That will never change. Daddy loves you unconditionally. That will never change." You know, people say mean things, but in reality, they want to be your friend. They just don't know how to be.
Wow. Okay. I'm just really happy that Emma, I mean, she looks really happy and she looks really like engaged. How can someone reach out to you? How can they find you online? If
I have two places that they can find me. They can either find me on Instagram at JenniferNew87, or you can find me at Queen and Growth of Support, and I believe it's Jenny's New Beginnings.
Yes.
It'll be on YouTube.
Fantastic. Okay. So go check her out. She has some really beautiful, vulnerable short videos that really just give you perspective. You know, I love that you bring up, you know, what's working for you, what has worked for you, and what you're still working through. Share, you know, what I'm working through. And I'm maybe a little older than you, definitely older than the younglings. But I'm still working. I hope to still be working through a lot of things when I'm in my 80s, 90s, 100s, because that means I'm still learning and growing. I love
Exactly.
in that place receiving the lessons.
Exactly.
Bravo to you, Jennifer, and to you, Emma, and Maya. Maya had her little appearance. So what is one last final thought you want to leave with anyone who's watching this with?
It's okay not to be okay all the time, but just remember that you are important, you're worth it, and, you know, just slay those mental dragons daily. And just as I say on my Instagram and everywhere else, spread love, spread positivity, and spread kindness.
Wow. I wasn't expecting all that in that chat. I loved how Jennifer got so real and so raw, and how vulnerable she is. Her bravery, her courageousness, and I wasn't expecting to have her divulge some of those personal details about her own life, and yet I think we can all learn from that. So that was a very touching, moving interview experience for me, because it goes to show how we're all struggling with something. It goes to show that you can overcome what you're struggling with. And it goes to show that a decision that you make as a mom can positively influence and impact your child's life. And that is the reason why I wanted to bring Jennifer on here. She is the first conversation I've had with a mom who has read this book with their child. So for me, it was very rewarding, and I'm just utterly grateful that I was able to do that today with her. So thank you for watching. I'm excited to do more of these. If you've read my book and you want to be on one of these Let's Chat interviews, you can see they're informal, they're cool, they're casual, nothing to be nervous about, then let me know. Reach out to me down below in the comments, or you can DM me. If we already DM each other, I'll see it. If it's a request, comment down below. All right, my loves. Thank you for being here, and thank you for tuning into these interviews. They mean a lot to me. They mean so much to me because I get to speak to my readers, and that is why an author puts out a book that touched the lives of the readers. And she has touched mine. That is so cool. All right, my loves, have a great one. And if you like this video, go check out some of the other ones on my channel. And I hope you enjoy watching more of them. Till next time.